It's going to give you analog, fuel, engine temperature. A little bit different way to look at the power wedge. It says the wake size is the biggest at the top. It's not true. It's the shape of the wake that'll actually change. I don't typically find myself looking at that. Okay. Next gauges button is air, lake, and depth. So a lot of times I find myself on this screen here. So again, now the front is full. You can hear it spitting out the side. So now what I can do is I can go in and turn it off. You know, or I could drain it. And we'll just leave it in there for now. So that's your gauges buttons.
So the gauges, you just, when you hit that, it cycles through the different gauges. Okay.
Media button. I'm going to be honest. You're never going to hit the media button. Okay. And the reason for that is because the media button is the radio. The radio is right here. So I can do everything here that I can do up here. But if we do hit the media button, to get back, we have to go to back to Viper. Okay. See that? Yep. To get in the media screen, we got to get out of it. You got to go to back to Viper. So I don't ever hit that button because it's all right here. Okay. Next button up is our presets. So this is where Malibu's gone in and set up different presets to kind of get you going. How we read these is the go home preset's going to drain the ballast and tell you to put the wedge up. Wakeboard beginner is 18 miles an hour, no ballast, no wedge. If I go to wakeboard intermediate, the center, left, and right are half full. Wedge down, 19.4 miles an hour. Wakeboard advanced, full ballast, wedge down, 22 miles an hour. Surf left, surf right, and ski. So let's say we want to do wakeboard advanced. I just highlight it, hit enter. It's going to drop the wedge down automatically. Your ballast is filling. You can see the red is where we're at. The green's where we're trying to get to. So you can see the front one is red and green. In a couple seconds here, that red is going to turn to green to let you know that, it's not turning that pump on. So that's what's unique about the presets is as it fills up, when it's full, it shuts that pump off. So now you can see it'll show you in red where we're at. Okay. Okay, if I go to presets, I go to go home. It's going to beep at you, tell you to move the wedge up. I'm just going to hit the exit button here. So now to put the wedge up, we've got to put the boat in gear, wait until it reads speed, and then press and hold the up button. And when I do that, the wedge will move up. It's going to beep, but you know it's coming up. I'm going to wait till it stops beeping, and then I let go. And again, the go home preset is going to drain all the ballast. Once all the tanks are drained, it individually shuts each pump off, so we don't have to worry about that.
And you don't have to be moving to drain the ballast. You don't need, no.
Nope. But all the ballast drains are in the back of the boat. So think about it, if we are like this, it's probably going to drain a little bit faster because it's feeding that pump with fresh water the whole time rather than it kind of sloshing around. So I'm just going to bump us up like this for a little bit because we're breaking the boat in. So we'll go like that. So that's our presets. Now let's say that we wanted to edit a preset, like wakeboard beginner, or let's say we wanted to edit surf left. All I have to do is highlight it, hit the edit button, and now it pulls me into the file, okay? So now we have pictures. So I could go through and change the picture by simply hitting down on the arrow and going through all the pictures. Hit enter when you see one. Name. I can scroll down, and now I can go through and change the name to whatever I want by up and down on the arrows. Okay? Okay, I'm going to leave it at surf left. I'm hitting enter, enter, enter. It's going to go to set point, which is speed. It's at 10.2. I can adjust it down to 9.8 if I wanted to. We're going to leave it at 10.2. I hit enter. The wedge is at 25%. That's where we're actually going to keep it. But we can move the wedge up or down by simply pushing up or down to adjust where the wedge is at. So then you can go through all four of your ballasts and fill or drain them. And when you're done, hit the save button and it'll save. Okay. Last button to talk about is our setup button. I'm going to have to slow down again for that. Setup button. When I hit that, just wait once we're going slow enough. Here we go. There's a few things we're going to talk about. Auto volume. If I hit enter, it's going to bring us into when the boat speeds up, the volume of the stereo gets louder. So I preferably like it on 2. 0 is off, 1's on, 2's more, 3's the most. I like it on 2.
Okay.
So we'll leave it at 2 for now. We can also go in, hit down, and adjust a shallow alarm, and set an alarm to go off when we get to a certain depth. Keep in mind that the depth meter is reading from the bottom of the boat. So from the bottom of the boat to the bottom of the prop is about 1.5 feet. You know, so we could actually legitimately drive in 1.5 feet. Now, do I recommend it? Probably not.
Probably.
But, you know, if it's sandy and mucky, yeah, you're fine. Like when we were over by the landing, it's all muck. The prop was definitely a little bit in the muck. It's not hurting it at all. The only thing it's going to hurt is rocks. So a lot of people will set the depth alarm at 3 feet. Keep in mind that, like when we go back in, if we set it at 3 feet, it's going to read off the top of the weeds. So it will go off. If it goes off, it's going to go off on this bottom bar here, and we can hit either arrow here to shut that sound off. And the last thing I'm going to show you is the surf gate calibration. Let's say for some reason you turn the battery switch to off. Sometimes if you do that for an extended period of time, you'll have to recalibrate the surf gate. It's very simple. Let's say you hit the button and that yellow bar doesn't pop up on the bottom and say surf gate will extend. Or you hit the button and surf gate's not extending. Most likely need a calibration, which is simply going to surf gate calibration, hitting enter. Press enter when surf gates are fully retracted. I know they're fully retracted because they were before. I hit enter and it configures it. Now, if one surf gate was out, you know, when you look at it, you'd want to walk back there, make sure they're both in, and then when they both get all the way in, hit enter.
So you might have to manually push it in if it's out?
Nope. You just go to surf gate calibration. You know, hit enter, walk back there, make sure they're both retracted all the way in, and then come back and hit enter again.
Okay.
Come down to the radio power button.